Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging, where in every episode, my guests and I, we strive to offer you proven tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive impact in the world. So we have three great interviews for you today. The first one is holistic eye care for a lifetime of good vision. Having good vision is so important. Of all of our senses, I think our vision is the most important and the least one that we'd like to lose. So this is a really important episode. And number two is called the preventive revolution: how to heal from the inside out. Our guest actually healed himself holistically from cancer. So this will be another really interesting episode. And number three is entitled A Nutritional Supplement Breakthrough. I'm really excited to offer this one. This is going to be a sponsor. This company is also going to be a sponsor for our show. It's a new type of nutritional supplements that's so much more absorbable and so much easier to take and less expensive. And it's the first one that I've ever actually endorsed. So I think this is going to be really interesting for you, and I highly recommend you check it out. So as always, be sure and watch all the shows, all of our guests, all the way through. All of our guests have some really valuable gifts for you. So we'll put that information in the show description, how you can get those free gifts. And let's see what else. Okay, before we get started, I just have a message from our sponsor, and we'll get into the first episode.
In a perfect world, we would all be happy, healthy, and successful. But stress, family, genetics, and life's little surprises take their toll on our brains, our bodies, and our psyche. And our quality of life suffers because we're not functioning at our best. Well, you can start by training your brain with the quantum mind method. This is not a game, and it's not a toy. It's developed by the world's only brainwave entrainment engineer, backed by over 40 years of research and development. It's 100% natural and couldn't be easier to use. With regular listening, your brain will naturally become stronger, more efficient, your most reliable ally, and all with almost no effort. You can achieve anything you want and get the most out of your life with the quantum mind method. The world is yours. So take it now.
All right. So here we go with our first episode, Holistic Eye Care for a Life of Good Vision. Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And this is going to be a really interesting one. The title is Holistic Eye Care for a Lifetime of Good Vision. And I was just talking to our expert, Dr. Grossman. I'll introduce him in just a second. And we agreed, if you ask 100 people, what sense would you least like to lose? It's your vision. So this is such an important thing that we kind of take for granted. So our expert guest is Dr. Mark Grossman. He's a doctor of optometry and New York State licensed acupuncturist. And he's a co-author of several books: Magic Eye Beyond 3D, Greater Vision, Natural Eye Care. And since 1980, Dr. Mark Grossman has helped many people maintain healthy vision, even improve their eyesight. He is best described as a holistic eye doctor dedicated to helping people with such conditions ranging from myopia, dry eyes, to potentially vision-threatening diseases as macular degeneration and glaucoma. So Mark Grossman, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me and doing what you're doing, because knowledge is power and you're educating the public.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and so the first thing I want to say is, okay, so you're an optometrist. You're not an ophthalmologist. Are the ones that actually do operations, but so you don't do surgery, but you have methods that can heal people without having to do surgery and all those and drugs and things, right?
Yes, I'm an integrative medical optometrist. Sometimes surgery is needed, sometimes medication is needed, and I tell all my patients that they need to put their team together. I've worked in clinics with 10 other doctors, so sometimes they want a retinal specialist, a naturopath, myself as an eye doctor, an optometrist, and an acupuncturist. So we need to help somebody in a team approach. So I don't call it alternative medicine, I call it integrative medicine.
Yeah, that's good. And I like it because you call yourself a holistic. So that means you're not only looking at the eyes. It's all everything's connected in our body, right? So if you got a problem with your eyes, you need to look and see what's going on with the rest of your body and your lifestyle as well.
Yes, I mean, remember, we don't treat the eyes. We have to treat the person behind the eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's so good.
And we have to look at on a body, mind, and spirit level.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just a physical biochemical accident and we need to work on the physical. There's always an emotional component. There's sometimes a spiritual component. Shakespeare wasn't wrong when he said the eyes are the windows to the soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always want to make that point. That we now know that what manifests in our physical body begins in our mental emotional state, right?
That's right. Remember, embryologically, physiologically, neurologically, the eye is brain tissue.
Mm-hmm.
If we believe, and science has shown, of the neuroplasticity of the brain, then we have neuroplasticity of the eye.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. And I've seen eyes improve. I've improved my own eyesight from legally blind to wearing glasses or contacts to passing a driving test. And now I'm 70 years old. I can pass a driving test and I can read without glasses. The other part, as you talked about, as many of us know about the gut, the microbiome, brain relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If we've got a gut-brain relationship, we have a gut-eye relationship. And again, the NIH has done studies showing the relationship between our digestive and microbiome and the eyes. So when we're looking at an eye condition, as eye doctors, we are very, very well trained to treat the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Why did I get macular degeneration in my right eye, not my left eye? Why did I get a cataract at 58 years old instead of 82 years old? But we need to know the why. We need to have the curiosity, the inquiry into why these conditions exist, because we can treat it on the symptom level, but we need to go deeper.
Yeah, well, that's the same with all medical conditions, right? And it's so good that we're having more and more holistic doctors like you and naturopathic doctors that are really looking at individuals and see what's going on, lifestyle and all that. So how do you actually work? I assume that because you also do telemedicine, right? And you do consultations for people. So how do you examine people? How do you go about determining from a holistic standpoint what might be the root cause?
Well, it's very interesting. Today I'm done since I've been doing this for 45 years, I've in that semi-retirement phase, and I don't want to, own my own office and staff. So most of my time I'm doing telemedicine.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it works with eyes is that people send me their eye records.
Oh.
They send me the scans, all the things I would do in my office.
I see.
They send me their scans, their prescriptions. I just got 20 pages on this patient. I just did I work with New Zealand, out of the country, Toronto. So they send me the scans and I look them over and I say, okay, what are we going to do? So this is a diet that I would recommend for them.
Mm-hmm.
I have a vision wellness diet that's usually a combination of a ketogenic and Mediterranean diet because it's basically anti-inflammatory. Mm-hmm. What foods are best for them to eat? What kind of broths or soups or condiments should they make? So we go through diet, we go through lifestyle, we go to specific kinds of exercise, not only eye exercise, but physical exercise that would be helpful for the eyes. And then I'll recommend sometimes targeted supplementation. And then sometimes I'll say, like with this patient today, I said, do you know that there's an amniotic stem cell contact lens that can maybe help heal your cornea? He goes,
Wow.
no, my corneal specialist never told me that.
Wow.
So then I sent her to the company that makes this amniotic membrane, and they can try to find her somebody where she lives in Georgia who maybe can try that. So I'm looking at what is the latest in the regular medical, Western medical field. What's the latest in Ayurvedic outside the country?
Mm-hmm.
What's the latest in veterinarian medicine
Mm-hmm.
that has been shown to be helpful? There's special eye drops for dogs that can reduce cataracts. Oh, that's interesting. Why aren't they working on that for humans? They are. So when maybe that will come. So we're looking at all different kinds of treatments for this. And when I do telemedicine or consultations, I give the patient a diet, protocols, supplementation, exercise, and eye exercises, and then sometimes go into the psycho-emotional, spiritual aspects of why they might have developed this condition.
Yeah, that's so good. That's such a great service that you're offering. I also want to let our audience know that we'll put the information how you can contact Dr. Mark and get a consultation. But also, he has a free exercise booklet on his website, so we'll put that information how you can get his free exercise booklet. So the question I have, next question, because you're also an acupuncturist, so were you able to use acupuncture to help eye health?
Oh, yeah. And I just want to comment on what you said. When people do go to my website, which is naturalecare.com, besides the free eye exercise booklet, there's a free newsletter that people can sign up for that gives you the latest things in eye care. And there are so many free videos I have of different eye conditions. It's over 300 pages from protocols. And the website also, the person who runs my website does free consultations on the different protocols. So we've been doing this for over 20 years, and he's also an acupuncturist, so he could give recommendations on that too. But in terms of Chinese medicine, remember, in regular medicine, we look at how does X cause Y. In Chinese medicine, we're looking at what is the relationship between X and Y. And I believe that all disease, dis-ease in the body mind has to do with relationships. Relationships to the universe, to the sky, to your environment, to your families. And the goal of every acupuncture treatment is balance and harmony. And there's specific treatments. There's a type of macular degeneration acupuncture treatment that was designed in Denmark that does needles in the hands and the feet that helps with eye diseases. So acupuncture can help reduce the stuck energy that's in the body and the mind and help the eyes. So I have been very helpful. I probably do 12 acupunctures a week just for eyes. I teach at the acupuncture school. So I want more acupuncturists to get into helping eyes, and vision is one of the places that acupuncture can be very helpful.
Wow, that's so interesting. Uh, would you say too that stress? We know stress is really the precursor to most chronic illnesses. Would you say stress is a big factor in eye health?
It's not only a big factor in eye health, and Hans Selye, who wrote a book 100, maybe 50 years ago on stress, showed that when you're under stress, you reduce your visual fields.
Mm.
But even more so, what I've noticed over the last 5 or 6 years is the stress coming from the world. So if we have inflammation happening in the world and we're empathetic to that, then we're going to get inflammation in our bodies and in our eyes. In fact, one of the biggest things I recommended for a patient, she had this, issue with her eyes and her jaw, and I gave her some homeopathics, I did some acupuncture, I did some nutrition, and I said, you know what? I think the best thing you can try to do for the next 2 weeks is not watch the news.
Yeah,
She came back 2 weeks later. She goes, I don't know what you did, but
that's so
but
good.
but I feel so much better. I said, great. And she goes, and I think the thing that was the most important is that you told me not to watch the news.
You know, Mark, I love that you said that. I have a saying: if you live with the news, you live with the blues. You know, so yeah, you got to turn off the mainstream news. It's just crazy. And also, just on that same point, as I know you'll agree, is that if you just watch the news, you think that the world is really about ready to end. But there's so many people across the world that are doing many great things, and more and more people are raising their consciousness and waking up. So we're actually moving in the right direction, but you wouldn't hear about it on the mainstream news.
Right. And the other thing that we as a society are lacking is that many of us are NDD. What is NDD? Nature deficit disorder.
Oh yeah,
In fact, one of the most important things we could do for our eyes, and research has shown this, is go outside.
yeah.
Okay? I mean, I live in the woods. I'm a little cold today, so I haven't gone out as much. But even if you can get that first morning light, get outside, be in the woods, forest bathing, get grounded. You know, we have too many EMFs around.
Yeah,
So, nature deficit disorder
I
is
like that.
affecting us on a lot of different levels. So,
Yeah,
when we're
because
looking at the eye issues, we're looking at everything.
that's so good. Yes, no question. You know, if you just look at a screen all day and just only this far away, your eyes will get fixation, right? So when you go out, you can look in distance and look in the mountains and trees, and it's so. I get out and hike a lot and get out in nature all the time. That's one of the best things you can possibly do for yourself. Yeah. Well, we're already running out of time here. I just got a couple more questions, though. I want to say, okay, so have you found that really doing eye exercises can so many people are nearsighted. Can doing regular eye exercises can they really improve your nearsighted vision?
The answer to almost every question is yes and no. Obviously, if
Yeah,
I've improved my own eyesight
yeah.
from legally blind 2400 to 2025. So, eye exercises, what they do is they increase the flexibility and the adaptability of the eye muscles.
Hmm.
So, sometimes, again, we have to treat, you have three people who are nearsighted. It's not the amount of nearsightedness, it's the why and the when.
Hmm.
Let's say somebody becomes nearsighted at 20 years old. It's not like lightning struck them and said, you will now become nearsighted.
Yeah.
Okay? It has to be something functionally or psycho-emotionally. The eye stops growing about 14 years old.
Mm.
So I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people to improve their nearsightedness. But then some people come and I say, well, you started wearing glasses when you were 3 or 4. You're a lawyer. You're sitting in front of computers all day. Unless you change your profession,
Mm.
you're going to get limited help by doing these eye exercises 10 minutes a day. Now, do I think eye exercises are helpful for everyone? Absolutely. The
Yeah.
same way that a dentist talks about dental hygiene,
Hmm.
we need to have visual hygiene.
Yeah.
And I also give workshops around for different organizations like Karpalo Yoga Center, Omega Institute, and yoga centers. So we do online workshops, we do in-person workshops. So eye exercises can be helpful, but we can't promise anything.
Well, okay. The last question is, there's a lot of eye nutritional supplements for eyes out on the market. Do you recommend that it's a good idea to take those on a regular basis?
Well, obviously, I've got, I'm a little biased because I have a website, naturaleyecare.com, and have my own line
Oh, okay,
of
good.
eye supplement products that I have made for me by biochemists and nutritionists so that I make sure that they're very specific and fit the research studies. See, that's the problem is that sometimes a thing can say it lists a lot of information. It has, oh, I have lutein, zeaxanthin, this. but does it have the therapeutic dosage of it?
Right.
Does it have the form of it that is most absorbable? So yes, I'm a biggie on supplementation and targeted supplementation, but I'm also a biggie on getting it from your food sources,
Yeah.
getting it from food and work together. The goal in supplementation, remember it's called supplementation,
Right.
is not instead of,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
what's the minimum you can take outside of yourself to get maximum results. I just went through it with a couple of patients. I got 2 or 3 more. I said, I'm going to tell you everything I know, but these two are the most important.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, we're out of time. Mark, thanks for all that great information and thanks for the work that you're doing. It's so valuable. And I highly recommend people go to your website. I remember now, I've got to go there again and check it out. I remember you have a wealth of information there that's so valuable. So once again, thanks so much for being here. And thanks for our audience for being here as well.
Okay, and deep gratitude for what you're doing, and thank you for doing it. Yeah, and thank you for asking me.
Thank you. Okay, we are back. So I have a short message for you, and then we'll get into our second episode about how our guest healed himself holistically from cancer. All right. Your 60s, 70s, and 80s, you were healthier, stronger, with more vitality than in your 40s. It's not genetics, it's not luck, it's the ageless living lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Rico, creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle. I've had the good fortune to work with hundreds of individuals just like you who greatly improve their overall health and well-being. So my clients aren't just staying healthy, they're out hiking mountains, playing sports, and feeling better in their 70s and 80s than they did in their 40s. My clients and I are living agelessly, and I know you can as well. So let's have a friendly conversation about your personal aging challenges and your goals. There's no pressure, just an honest conversation about where you are now and where you want to be, and whether the ageless living lifestyle is a good fit for you. So I'm here for you. Let's talk.
Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this episode is The Prevention Revolution, How to Heal from the Inside Out. And our expert guest today, his name is Georges Cordoba. He's a holistic health and life coach, a functional nutritionist, professional speaker, Reiki teacher and practitioner, and hypnotherapist. All these are to provide more value for his clients. He's also an Amazon best-selling author for his book, Beating the Odds. It's his journey through holistic health to overcome advanced cancer. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be, I think, really helpful. So, Georges Cordoba, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Rico, for inviting me. It's an honor to be here and sharing with the world.
Well, you have a great story and a great message, and I know now you're doing some great coaching to help people deal with what you went through. So let's begin by just briefly talk a little bit about your journey.
Sure. Back 13 years ago, actually, not really, 2002 is when I was diagnosed. 3 weeks after my mother passed with cancer, I was diagnosed with an advanced form of cancer, melanoma, malignant melanoma. It was already on some of my lymph nodes, and very aggressive type of cancer. And I wasn't surprised because you know how the mind goes. I lost a lot of, I'm half Greek. My Greek family, I lost several. It's up to 8, including my mother, folks that passed from cancer. Not the same cancer. By the way, cancer is not really hereditary. We will talk about it in a different situation. But in my case, though, nobody really wants to hear that they're diagnosed with cancer. And needless to say, I played a lot of tennis. I'm an athlete. Played NCAA tennis. I surfed a lot in South America. And so I was in the sun a lot. And I thought that I got the melanoma because of the exposure to the UVs through the years. And it turns out that that was part of it, but all diseases are emotional and they start in acidic bodies. The thing, though, is that when I was diagnosed at that time, my oldest son was 11, my youngest was 7, 5 kids. We're blessed with 5 kids now. We're grandparents, and but it was an emotional roller coaster. I could not believe it at that time. I was the CTO. I was already working in technology as an executive, and and I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't even mourn my mother, but the bottom line is that it could have been my competitive spirit. I just said, look, I'm going to beat the odds. And that's the title of the book. I'm going to beat the odds, be the very first person in my family that defeats this monster. And I went on my journey. In the beginning, like everybody else, the mind goes to where it's familiar. So I took the conventional treatment route. I had no other alternatives in my brain. We are all trained to do that. Needless to say that was not working. I had my whole journey was 10 years fighting melanoma, 10 surgeries. I had metastasis of 8 tumors in my brain tumors, and 2 of them were not operable. They could not do anything with it. And so of those 10 surgeries, 4 were in my brain, 4 craniotomies. And but on year 8, real quick, on year 8, I was just fed up, broke. My insurance stopped out. We had to start tapping into 401ks, our IRAs, and our kids' college funds. I mean, we were broke. I actually transitioned out of that. I really was not productive as a CTO, so I told my boss and everybody that I will do a transition. So I was able to work from home for 18 months, but after that, really I made a decision with my wife that I was just going to focus on healing. I was not going to let this thing beat me. And thank God, as a person of faith too, I realized when I had my first craniotomy, they gave me this pill. They finally said, "Oh yeah, we found this chemotherapy that penetrates the brain, and it's going to be in the form of capsules. It will be oral." So I had to take 5 Monday through Friday, then a break on the weekend, then Monday through Friday, 3 weeks. But on my second Monday, by the way, each capsule $1,000, and I was broke already. So broke, frustrated, and on that 6th capsule, I really thought I was going to have a heart attack. I also had a panic attack or anxiety attack. I played the piano. I tried to do that. My wife was working, the kids in school. So it was very, very scary. I thought, man, this is going to take my life. And at that moment, I was already thinking, man, I gotta stop this stuff. And so when my wife came in, the kids were still in school. I asked my sister to pick them up, but she said, "What's going on? Look, what's going on?" I said, "Look, take me to church. I want to go to the chapel." And I went there. I surrendered. I cried my butt off for a while. And basically I said, give me discernment. I'm going to stop. I'm going to go God's pharmacy and go natural. And I did, Rico, and here I am. This past July was my 13th year free of cancer. And 8 years ago, I made another leap of faith and basically transitioned from technology to health and wellness. And like I told you before, I'm an athlete. I learned how to visualize and do some mental rehearsing for competition during my competitive years. And I use that more so when I decided to go natural. And when I made that decision, by the way, everything just came in. But I have to say, though, that my surgeons were all, especially the neurosurgeon, were second to none right there at Sylvester Cancer Center in University of Miami, Florida. If it wasn't for them, I would not be talking to you. I know this. And but what happened, what I learned when I went natural is that healing my friends, happen from the inside out. It's not from the outside in. I've heard, and actually even you yourself told me that a few days ago. Really, it's a situation, and when we find out what the root cause is, which is emotional clutter that we accumulate, the lifestyle and the fast pace that we live in, and the way we eat that creates acidity in the body. And it's not only what we eat; it's we are when we eating. The average American chews 6 times before they swallow, and the stomach is not prepared to take a processed food. The digestion starts in the mouth with our saliva enzymes, and we're supposed to chew at least 20 times, depending on the food, even more.
Yes.
Obviously, if you have mashed potatoes, it's a different story,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, yeah.
Well, Alex, yeah, before we get into some of the actual things that you actually did, I just want to point out that the real point here for our audience is no matter what you're dealing with, there's an option. There's always solutions. You can heal because anytime we have any kind of a chronic illness or life-threatening illness, uh, it begins, like as you mentioned, it begins in our mental emotional state
Hmm.
because we now know from science, that
Yeah.
what begins in our mental emotional state manifests in our physical body. So that's the
Hmm.
first place that we always need to look and see what was going on in our mental state.
Yeah.
But but really the message is that you can do it. You're a perfect example of that. You have a great story. So I just want our audience to know that no matter what's going on, you can heal. You can improve your situation. And so, talk a little bit about some of the things besides. Well, also your mindset was the biggest one, but what else did you do that you think really made the biggest difference?
Yeah, emotional clutter. It is interesting because I was speaking in Toronto, Ontario, and I met a holistic MD, a medical doctor, but he took the holistic route too after 4 years of not seeing results with conventional stuff. And we discussed. I received a book from one of my employees called Emotional Intelligence, and there was a chapter in there about the effects of our health when we do have this emotional clutters, experiences from childhood or beliefs that we created from experiences that were good or bad, but mainly bad. And this is something interesting because I share this in the book. Forgiveness is healing, but I worked on that. I read the book and I was open. I was open to find every tool I could to rid of the melanoma. And then later on in Ontario, I realized I've been told, and I wrote a book, The Biology of Belief, that emotions are producing cortisol, which is something that we produce, but in excess. If we remember from a song that we hear or a movie, or you just pass by a scenery and you remember something, that stuff needs to be cleared out. And so here's something that I share in the book. The moment that I went and looked for people that hurt me, and two of them passed, but the other three were there. Can you believe that they didn't remember, hurting me, but they apologized. I forgive them. Then I actually made some mistakes. I mean, as a youngster, college and stuff, and I approached
Well,
several people that I thought I hurt. One remembered, but they all forgave me. And then I did the hardest one. I forgave myself, which is really the toughest one. But when I managed to do that, Rico, I never had another recurrence.
yeah, I think that's the biggest.
Because,
That's the biggest one. Forgiveness for ourselves.
yeah,
Well, George, we don't have a whole lot of
yeah,
much time left to go again. So first, I want to let our audience know that you have a free ebook that offers some really good information, and we'll put that link in the show description where they can get that, and also we'll put the link where they can get a copy of your best-selling book. And then in the time we have left, I know you also do coaching for people. So just talk a little bit about who you like to work with and what basically you offer your
yes.
coaching clients.
Sure. I do two modalities. I do one-on-one coaching, and that I only do it for people that are going through cancer.
Okay.
I went through cancer. I found my own protocol, and obviously I then backed it up with hypnotherapy, nutrition, and things like that. That is a 12-month program, broken in 4 quarters. And if the person is ready to work and do the work, the action that I ask them to take, they do see some amazing transformation, and I have great success stories. The other one is a rolling program that I started in October, and that's all about prevention. As a matter of fact, I just got my trademark for the name of it. Is the Prevention Revolution, because your health is your most valuable asset. And in there, I see people as a very similar protocol that with one-on-one. Obviously, I meet every week. We do 90 minutes, and I do training and some other stuff that people love. We do visualizations. We work on some meditations of forgiveness. And it's all about preventing. Almost 7 out of 10 U.S. adults have a chronic disease today.
Yeah.
1 or 2 men who have cancer in their life, and 1 or 3. So those are the 2 main programs I have. I'm finishing an online course. So you can
Okay.
go.
Well, actually, yeah, we're just about out of time. Yeah, we'll definitely put all that information, how people can contact you.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend it if you are dealing with cancer. You definitely want to get a hold of George's, because he's a perfect example. He was able to heal himself, and I know that you can too. And I just want to say one more thing about the prevention thing, which is really great work you're doing. Even now, the Conservative American Medical Association will say that up to 80% of all degenerative diseases that are killing most people, heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, are preventable with a healthy lifestyle. And so it's all about that. And so I highly recommend that you get a hold of George's, and I know it'll be really helpful for you. So, George's, thanks very much for the information, and thanks for the work that you're doing. And
Thank you.
thanks to our audience for being here.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we are back. So I have one more short message for you, and then we'll get into our third segment of this episode. Now, this is a valuable information. It'll make a great Christmas gift for yourself or for someone you love, and it's very inexpensive as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tess Mauricio, America's favorite dermatologist and founder of M Beauty Clinics in Beverly Hills and San Diego. Rico has been our family's personal trainer for the last 12 years, and recently he introduced us to his Fast Fit 17 training program system, and we really like it. As a busy physician and a mom, it's really hard for me to find time to exercise, but now I feel like I can get a really good workout in just 17 minutes with his Fast Fit 17 system. And I feel like I'm stronger than ever before. So I highly recommend you try it, and I know that you'll find that it'll help you get the results you want.
Now, in just 17 minutes, you can get and stay fit and look and feel your best for life. This will be a life-changing and life-saving experience for you. Yes, it's true. Scientific studies have shown the Fast Fit 17 system is the fastest way to achieve maximum results in the shortest amount of time. This is a true fitness breakthrough. This system was developed particularly for busy people over 40 who know they need and want to get into better shape and have more energy, but feel they don't have the time. Now, time is no longer an issue. We want everyone to take advantage of this fitness breakthrough. So, for a limited time, you can get the entire program for only $17. So don't miss out. Order now at fastfit17.com.
Hang on to your bone mass, that's why you take this stuff. You want to hang on to your bone mass, that's why you take this stuff.
Hello, I'm Rico Cavilla. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this episode is The Key Vitamins and Natural Supplements That Everyone Needs. And we're also going to give you a really great offer how you can save money on getting these really quality key nutritional supplements. And our expert guest today is a good friend of mine. His name is Ron Beckenfeld. He's the CEO of Superior Source Vitamins. And Ron was a health and fitness lover as a young man, and when his dad got sick and couldn't swallow vitamins, Ron created vitamins that dissolve under the tongue, which is called sublingual, and then started Continental Vitamin Company. It's the parent company that manufactures Superior Source Vitamins here in the United States. So Ron Beckenfeld, thanks so much for being here again.
My pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you. I think this is a really important episode because so many people are taking supplements, and I know a lot of people, they just take things, they don't even know why they're taking it, or they just get them in the drugstore or at Costco, and we know that so many supplements have been tested. They go in and take things off the shelf, and they don't even have what in, or the potency that what they say is in the bottle. So it's real important to know what you're taking, right?
A tip for the people: if you buy basically from a person that's manufactured by, generally, I can just tell you they have a large investment in the company. Mm-hmm. A packaging line's over $1 million. Just everything is extremely expensive. The personnel, nobody really can afford to put out bad products. And especially if they're NFS, that's a company we pay to check our books, check our supplements head to toe. They come and audit us. I don't believe the industry is that bad at all. I think there's a few bad players you find in every business, but basically the stuff you see in the bigger places, the merchandise, I'm willing to say I'd almost go 100% of it's good. More online, you got to be careful. The guys that are pushing business to themselves, and that's a little different. But, like I said, if somebody's a manufacturer, he's probably got a minimum of a $10 million investment, to be honest.
Yeah, it takes things.
He's not going to put out it doesn't pay.
Yeah.
All the money's spent in the marketing anyways.
Well, let's first talk about why do we need supplements? There are some doctors still, and some people will say, "Oh, you're just wasting your money. You don't need all that stuff." But let's talk about why most everybody does need supplements.
The word, it's just supplements. Nothing beats real good food. I'm in this business to make a living. Nothing beats good quality food, fresh food. As you get older, keep your protein up, especially some supplementation. Is good. But you don't have to take a lot of everything. And if you got a disease-specific something, you can pick a product for that. But what it is just supplementation. But you got to eat good food and eat real quality food.
Yeah, no question. But unless you have your own organic garden and you really are up on all the nutritional requirements that the body requires, it's pretty hard to get all the nutrients that you need on a daily basis. That's why supplements is important for most people.
Out a company like Walmart, they're the biggest seller of organic produce in the world, if you can believe it. Or Walmart.
Yeah.
All the places you go to, any supermarket, they have organic, and it's certified organic. So you're in the bigger markets, I think you're going to get what you're paying for, and it's good if you can eat organic or as fresh as possible.
Yeah, no question. Yeah.
Stay away from the processed foods, stay away from the packaged foods, and learn how to read labels. Very important.
Yeah.
Other ingredients, serving size, you get fooled real easy.
Yeah, you can definitely get fooled. But anyway, but back on supplements, I know you and I agree that supplements can be really valuable, and most people are going to need them, especially these days under, we have such a stressful lifestyle, and we live in a toxic environment. So supplements can really be beneficial. So talk about what you would call, what are the key vitamins and minerals that everybody needs?
I think if you're really on top of yourself, I think a good quality protein powder is a meal substitute. Okay. I personally take 2 drinks and 3 meals a day. They're not monstrous meals. Everything is protein driven for me, and I build from there. Anything fresh, you pretty much can eat all you want if it's fresh this, fresh that. And stay away from some of the accoutrements that are like ketchup is loaded with 2 grams of sugar in a serving, which is a lot for a little tablespoon,
Yeah.
Those type of things. And if I was going to recommend some supplements, somebody's on a little wants to get a little muscle or stay a little more fitter or maybe keep their bone mass, I'd recommend creatine with HMB.
Yeah, I know you've got a really great product. We're going to
I
let
take it myself, and you get the creatine. It's the most steady supplement there is, period. And I've been using it. It'll help you keep your muscle mass. You just eat 5 grams a day, and the stuff doesn't. It's bland. Then you put the HMB on it. Then you're talking about protecting your keep from getting fat and protecting your bones with it. We put a little vitamin D and D in there too, but it's an excellent product.
Yeah, I just mix it in with coffee, and you don't even taste it at all.
Yeah, I can mix it in with anything, and it's a good little supplement. Then you go into specific things. If you have a prostate problem, you can start looking at different products for that, so on and so forth.
But don't you think everybody should be taking one that everybody should be taking is vitamin D? I know that there's always studies show that everybody almost is deficient in vitamin D, unless even if you're out in the sun a fair amount.
We got numerous vitamin D, everything from 400 all the way to 10,000 vitamin D. Yeah. I take it myself.
And what about B vitamins, B complex? It's probably pretty hard to get. You should take those on a regular basis.
When it comes to your fruit, don't drink juice.
Yeah,
too much sugar concentration.
Eat the whole fruit.
Eat the whole fruit. You get the fiber and everything.
But probably should supplement with some vitamin C as well too. It's hard to get.
Yeah, it's very relatively inexpensive. I prefer the capsules, to be honest with you, or we have it under a microlingual. Our vitamin C melts. It's excellent. We're not putting any heavy binders, fillers, chemical fillers. A lot of capsules, especially tablets, they have to have flowing agents, and they're all chemicals, man.
Yeah.
We're getting, but it's not.
Well, what I like about your whole line of sublingual,
microlingual.
Okay, microlingual, because I have a problem now. I don't like to swallow big, especially tablets. I don't take any tablet, but even big capsules, I have a hard time swallowing. So
a lot of people, 35% of the people have trouble with that.
Yeah, so and also microlingual, I think they get into your blood system a lot, so they're better absorbable, right?
Absolutely. When you put it in that sublingual gland, it goes right into your bloodstream, and you bypass the digestion completely. And the tablets are maybe on a penny, you could probably put 7 or 8 of them. They're very small, but they're full potency, because we leave out in a lot of tablets. You'll see, let's say you got 150 milligrams of active ingredients, but the tablet actually is 500 or 600 milligrams. The rest is fillers and binders and excipients to hold it together and flowing agents. We don't have any of that.
Yeah, that's what I really like about your source.
We don't have any of that. So we're considering the clean vitamin, easy to take, and it's clean.
And so you have you have a complete line of
about 100 products,
of supplements. Are most of them microlingual?
All of them are, except for the powder.
That's so good.
We have a creatine, we have a collagen, we have a keto product. Those are not, obviously, but all are small, soft molded tablets.
Well, just what you said. Yeah, I want our audience to understand that it's so important that these microlingual. Not only are they easy
your stomach's not grinding away with those.
Yeah, they're easy to absorb. They're easy to swallow, and like I say, they don't have all these other.
You don't have to swallow them; just let them dissolve on your
Yeah, they just dissolve in your mouth. That's
our vitamin C dissolves. It's a little bigger, but it's still small.
And let me ask you, what do you think? Does it really matter? You heard a lot of different. It's kind of controversial. Like, when should you take a certain vitamin, or you take minerals in the evening, or does it? What do you think about that?
I don't know, just for convenience and easiness, unless it specifically states it, I take everything in the morning because it's just easier for me.
Yeah.
I have my breakfast and I just start pulling it out and taking it one after another.
Yeah, it's convenient.
I take quite a few supplements, but I think the powders, a good whey powder or a good pea powder or with some creatine is just excellent for overall health. The major thing is as you get older, you lose your bone mass in your muscle. You want to hang on to it. And we can get into some exercise and all that, but nutrition is 80% of the game.
Yeah. Remember I told you that story when I had the opportunity to hang out with Jack LaLanne for a while there.
My hero, yeah.
Yeah, and he had that saying that exercise is king and nutrition is queen. And I used to say, Jack, you got it backwards. Actually, it's more nutrition is more important than exercise, because if you exercise, yeah, you'll have a fit body, but if you don't have good nutrition, you're going to get sick and old.
Not even if you exercise, if you don't feed the good stuff, and you're going to still. I call
That's
it
right.
chicken. You're still going to be not in shape.
That's right.
You don't want to put 4 hours a day in the gym. The nutrition is that's the hardest part of the whole thing, is controlling your
It
eating.
is. But if you get good nutrition, you're probably going to be pretty healthy, and you don't exercise. Well, I mean, you're not going to be too
I mean, if I
fit.
had a choice between the two,
Yeah,
one or another, it'd be nutrition is over exercise.
that's right. See, nutrition
A
is king.
very moderate amount of exercise.
Yeah,
But you get a double whammy. Most people aren't exercising, and they're not eating good food. So you start getting, I call a lot of diseases young, or
yeah.
as you're going to get older in the 80s, you're going to get some, I call them old man diseases, but these young people are getting these diseases young, 30s and 40s, where they should be getting these kind of
That's because they have such bad.
and all
That's
this
because they
stuff.
grew up on bad nutrition, all this processed
Right.
junk foods. Yeah,
Well, the convenient, the McDonald's of the world, they're just there to make money. They would sell health food, but the people don't want it.
that's right.
You can make it taste, and making it taste good's another deal. You got to make the stuff taste good.
Yeah. Well, it does. Once you get off all that highly processed and junk foods and start eating more whole natural foods, you'll lose your taste. You begin to lose your
Yeah,
lose
and
your taste for
sugar's
that
the
stuff.
worst.
Yeah,
Rico. Sugar's the worst. Sugar's the killer. That's
yeah. Way too much
you can
sugar.
get that out. If you can get that out of your diet, you've gone a long way.
Yeah.
Get going on the right track here for sure.
Well, Ron, we're just about out of time.
Okay.
I know we have a really good special. You have a really good discount for
Yeah,
our
we have
audience.
creatine and HMB generally sells for $39. There's a $5 coupon on it, and it's a great product. Any competitors are around $49. We're a manufacturer's one reason we're able to offer at these, I would call them healthy prices, because we're not having a contract manufacturer. It's not a middleman. We buy all our raw materials. We do all our own lab work. Everything's inside, and we put out a quality product, man.
Okay, so I have a link here for our audience to go and check out all your products.
We
And
can buy.
so, how do they get the discount when they go to this link?
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
okay, automatically will give them the discount,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay, that's great. So I highly recommend you check this out. I mean, these are supplements that I'm going to be taking more and more all the time.
I don't want you looking too good, Rico. You better hold off on that.
Oh, well, maybe okay. Maybe you're right. Yeah. Well, Ron, again, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for the
Okay.
work that you do, and thanks for the products that you created, and thanks for the great offer for our audience. So,
Yeah.
once again, I always like to end all my shows with Einstein saying, "Knowledge without action is useless." So you got to step up. We give you some good information, some
Absolutely.
wisdom. You got to step up and take action. So be
We need more
sure,
people like you, Rico, that are care.
and
I'm
you
not
as
going to
well,
give your age, but you're an old
and you.
dude like me.
And so be sure and check out Ron's Superior Source Vitamins. You'll be glad you did.
We appreciate it.
And thank you all for being here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's it for today's show. So I hope you got some valuable information. But as always, remember, you got to take action on the knowledge that you get. That's what Einstein said. Knowledge without action is useless. So take action on what you learned today. And if you like today's show, well, tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show. You can also subscribe to our channel. We'll put that link in the description. And when you do subscribe, you'll receive a valuable gift from us as well. I also, I would love to hear from you and let you know how you're liking the show, and also give us some ideas of what topics that you would like to be covered. So I'll also put my email in the description, and you can send me an email and let me know what topics that you would be interested in and that you would like to hear. And just one more thing. Again, I highly recommend that you check out our sponsors, the Mind Trainer Pro. Nothing's more valuable than having a functional brain that's functioning optimally all of your life. And it's so easy to do. All you have to do is listen to these audios. So I highly recommend you try that out. And also our new sponsor, the Superior Source Vitamins. It really is like a no-brainer. If you have a supplement that is so easy to take, it just dissolves under your tongue. It gets into your bloodstream right away, gives you much better results, and it's also less expensive than most all other supplements. So I would recommend you give those a try. So thanks everybody for being here. Go out and live your best life. Thanks very much.